This is day 576 for the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor upcoming shir of Arukh HaShulchan Yomi or more, please contact me directly. It'd be very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Shin Lamates, Sif Test, to Sin Shin Lamates, Sif Yudalit. And clapping and dancing on Shabbos. Test. Let me just start in your top portion. The Arukh HaShulchan says, I have a simple reason why clapping and dancing should be permitted. The Sipur Brikul Shalom Lona Samyola, our type of clapping and dancing, was never forbidden. With the Zman Chazal, Chazal, they would do it at the same time that they were playing musical instruments. And they would clap and slap and dance according to the rhythm of the music. Paints a cloud based on but now we clap and dance without musical instruments whatsoever. The base is rather when we sing with our mouths, we clap hand to hand, just generically, so to speak. Not rhythmically. And slapping a hand on the thigh, we don't know what exactly that means at all. We certainly don't do that as part of our joyous festivities. Wow, did you know that? Back in the time of Arukh HaShulchan, women were already doing Israeli dances, so to speak. I didn't know that. That's cool. Okay, so he says, that's fascinating. So it says, dancing, which is also is the dancing like Rikudei Nashim, which is where they do the dancing is being done in a pattern. In a choreography involved. I'm not going to start. We just do these just shuffle. We dance without any formats. And there's no chashash that you're going to come from this type of dancing, which we do, to be masakin klishir. There's no connection between our form of dancing and music. Okay. Musical instruments. The law goes decreed. Therefore, that we can understand why in Simchas Torah we can dance and clap for this honor of Sefer Torah. Some people say it's because it's an honor of the Torah, which says also for the covenant Torah. How could it be about this is the Rabbanim? But according to what I wrote, that it works out well. It's not the type of dancing and clapping which forbade. We've seen several times great people, even on Shabbos, clap at the time of Simcha. The Shemur says other Simchas like Chasna remains also only for Simchas Torah, and also Kovan Torah. We can't allow just clapping and dancing, but not sounding bells and triangles. It's only all the klei shir. Okay, back to Arukh HaShulchan is a bracket here, but this going to say Gama Expert say the below Kippurim it's a kohen gadol. How could they do the knocking with the finger by kohen gadol to keep him awake on night of Yom Kippur? So if I recall correctly, some people say it's like that. Some people say it's like this. I think it's for I recall correctly, it's the first one, because not for the purpose of shear. I mean, it's not for shear. It's not something which is going to lead you to psychically shear because it's not done in a rhythmic pattern. Even don't want to come out to the reason that there's no Sri Rabban in the Mikdash. It's also not a sound of a musical instrument, besides the fact that it's not connected to music. Which I have a mug Abraham, see cut and bass. I said yesterday, I mentioned the Rav Moshe. Rav Moshe is very quickly. Rav Moshe has a very radical truth, which he says the reason why it's okay to dance and clap today is because it's a Gzeira, which was not accepted by Shlonis Kaba Rov Yisrael, which is not accepted by most Jews. He says even though at one point it was accepted, but clearly over time it's become non-accepted. And it's become Gzeira Shlonis Kaba Rov Yisrael falls off on its own. Hi, by Shem and Akum, they needed to have a basin to be matzah, the basin of Yehuda and the Sia. He said the basin is just the ones who certified that it fell out of favor, that it no longer was the Skaba Rov Yisrael. But you don't need a basin samach to it; you just need a determination, a psak. So therefore, he says any Gzeira D'Rabbanan where it's no longer the Skaba Rov Yisrael, who actually can paskin, and no longer applies altogether, which is a very radical approach, but very dangerous. But it's pretty interesting. Okay, Yud, ain't done in Shabbos. You can't judge on Shabbos because around Perchav Dal ain't on Shabbos. You can't mete out punishment on Shabbos. Even though the punishment is a mitzvah say, and Dochel Shabbos doesn't push off Shabbos. Okay, it said how so? Reishi is chayim mitzvah malchus. Somebody is liable to death or to flogging. Ain't malchus, you don't flog them. Shneimar lo tvaru eish. You know, don't consume fire. Do the Yishar own chin. Ad kan l'shono. It says, how do it says Lo Malkin? Malkin, I that's what the Arukh is about to ask. Seems like that's shouldn't to fire, capital punishment, not corporal punishment. Delosvaru Darshin Letzreifas Baskoin. Delosvaru teaches us you shouldn't burn the daughter of a Kohen. The Mitzvah, which she gets for being Mizanav, she's an Arusa. Shabbos Shabbos is written to on Shabbos. Burning was included in the general prohibition of Malach on Shabbos. It was singled out to teach. Based in Shabbos, just like burning is one of the deaths imposed by Bastin. It does push off Shabbos. Of course, our mitzvahs Bastin. So do all other mitzvahs Bastin. Lo yichul Shabbos, don't push off Shabbos. Mizel, you'll learn down in Rakim Misa. For this, you only know that the death penalty shouldn't be imposed, not corporal punishment. So the Rambam, the Gamma Malchus is Chilul Shabbos. However, the Rambam holds that by Malchus there's also Chilul Shabbos. The Vadi Belamites Malchus Yaseh Chabura, because it's sure that if you're going to give 39 lashes, there's going to be a wound on the back or wherever in front that you split it up. That's for the. About time Shane done in moments. Why don't you judge monetary laws? Beitza Sham, time because you should michtov at time subsacting. Beitza says because you might come to write down the claims and the ruling. Remember, Yushabi said Isa Mikan about the dim shlo you done in b'Shabbos. Yushabi gives a different reason. My time, why? Never kam b'chol, which was saying what says here in all your communities. Never halon elechem or settlements. This is it says Shabbos in all your settlements, and it says by justice. This should be for you for the law of justice in your for your generations in all your settlements. Basically, just like later on, so about a based in. I've come basically because of numbers, so about a based in. Ayin Sham. Bavkav lo made Sham leading a Misa's based, even though that's going on a capital punishment based in. Achimela Mixer Shabazen Nuchal Lamo Kol Min Din. But we can learn from this Gzeira Shava that all types of cases in Basin should not be judged on Shabbos. Mishnah Berurah would say they according to Ushami, only the penalty, punishment is less Midraisa, but the judge is only the Rabbanan, which it sounds like from the Bavli, but again, the Arukh HaShulchan Ushami that it's probably the Raisa. The Gemosha ain't serving b'Shabbos, just like you can't burn on Shabbos, so to all other cases of justice are not to be done on Shabbos. Not to be done on Shabbos. The Sanhedrin also not seen on Shabbos in the chamber of the hewn stone, like they would on a weekday. It's a different part of the Beis HaMikdash. Come forward with Tosefta. Also, you can't start a place to do chalitza on Shabbos. The Zel Kishiva is like sitting in judgment. Certainly forbidden to send a warning to a person to come to court on Shabbos. That is like being involved in a court case. It goes without saying that without that you're not allowed to accept testimony on Shabbos. Mitzvah, unless it's a pressing mitzvah called Moba Guna, such as a case where a woman is not Guna, because her husband disappeared. Shachar Shabbos include Kabel. After Shabbos, he won't be able to accept testimony of his death. The code of our mitzvah tried to do with Shabbos, because for all matters of mitzvah, you're allowed to speak on Shabbos, even though it has to do with the things that are going to go on after Shabbos. She decided all the times Shabbos also the litigant should not arrange his claims on Shabbos. She had still a din Torah Shabbos. But a dayan who was involved in a din Torah from Friday and didn't complete it. And he's looking at Shabbos. He's looking into the matter of the psak. That's her mitzvah. This is also learning Torah. Just if he's learning how to pass him what's also what's mutter. So too similar thing is to ma'ayim b'dinei mamanos. That's how one is get involved in monetary law. But the base should not sit in regular spot in the court and analyze there. Does any record that looks away like a do judgment? Because the Rama says the Kach the Chain also lead false like peace the base of soil, so not allowed to arrest and put people in jail. Says here, back in Shalom, when the government permits you to do so, which is Chayveh's Onesh, somebody who's liable to some punishment, they shlo yivrach, and you want to imprison him on Shabbos, so you shouldn't run away. The Koshkin, you can't do it. Koshkin shows slow kosi, also certainly can't flog him. Yivrach ain't only no klum hakal. Wow, please, oh well, that's too bad. If he's doing averos, you can keep him in his house. That you shouldn't house arrest in his house. That you should not flee. Also, all matters of the masses, you can make an announcement on Shabbos. Mr. Buddha says that if a person, wow, look at this amazing Mr. Buddha. If a person wants to run away in order to make his wife an aguna, you can allow to imprison him on Shabbos. Your base. Also, the Kaddish Ishim Shabbos. Forbade you to get married on Shabbos. Kosh can consume the suin, and certainly to make the kiddushin and certainly the suin. Although I'm not clear why Kosh can consume the suin. It seems that the kiddushin is more of a kinyan than the suin. I don't know. So I guess before when he said meaning you're not allowed to set the place. And here's about the chalitza itself. Not sure. Gemara gives a reason because it might come to right. To be honest, it's standard. Why did you say now to make a kinyan on Shabbos? Shaisha Nidis Bali, they use Erusin Yisuin. The woman is acquired to us in both through Erusin and by Nisuin, the Chuppah. Shabura says that by Kiddushin by itself, without the Chuppah, there's no kinyan yet to inherit her and to keep her keep objects that she found and to get her whatever she get things that she produces. All these facets of marriage only nickname to him with the nisuin, which is why nisuin is also considered to be a kinyan. Same thing, right? The Rambam, the Perkov Gimel, Din Yud Beis Kosav, you're not allowed to. The Ram writes that you're not allowed to buy and sell, v'liskor, to rent for yourself, last year to rent out to others. Gizera Shema Yichtov. It's Gizera because you might come to write kind of shono. Kilam Lola Shas Lamar Tam Kinyan. So why does the Shas have to say that there's a the reason would be Kinyan? Came to that's why it was Yesh Gzeras Ha'isr Kamo Kinyan, because the Gzera of Shema Yichtov is the same as no different than the Gzera of Kinyan, both the Gzeras Rabbanim. Bracket says, Achtiv Rambam loving. The Bereish Berg show Tam Shem Yichtov Avo Fios. Yes, they said because it might come to write on loans and demanding loans. I chum. Avalika Mekach Memkar, which was got clearly an answer. But commerce in and of itself is a major Rabbanon in and of itself. It's only time Gzera. It's not a decree that it might come to write. Born Nechemda. It's a pasuk. So it's custom of the psukim. Much custom ratio is similar ratio gimel do mamish doro kidaraisa. Refraining commercial activities has the status virtually of a deraisa. The located your Shabbos close because otherwise Shabbos would be like a weekday. Shem Ramban Eben is there and but the name of the Ramban. But nearly the Gama Rambam ain't coming also but Dafka. You know what? Really the Rambam doesn't mean specifically Shem Yichtov. He means Mishum Kinyan. Elish Lo Tzol Arich. You didn't want to spend time because of explaining the whole issue of Kinyanim on Shabbos. Because of the time we wrote one of the possible reasons. Okay? V'duk. You give up. Without the Gemara Park Shama Masha Ein Makachin. And when I ask what, and now we just don't get married on Shabbos, so mitzvah covered. It's a mitzvah. So but when he already has a wife and children. And Shabbos Rashi. Well, Ikar Di Parich. It's not asking on the basic halacha. The Balegam, the Ein Lo Isha Bani Masal Kaddish. Certainly, if you even don't have a wife and children, you're not allowed to get married on Shabbos. Shemach Shalosh Mishnah the Koyle with Shus. This question is on the language of the Mishnah that calls it an option to get married, not an obligation to get married. And he's saying that because since he has a wife and children, but therefore he doesn't have. I guess the second wife he wants to get, so therefore there's no, that's why it's a shus, not a bar mitzvah. But anytime, even the original marriage, the first marriage, to have children, even though it's a bar mitzvah, still don't do no Shabbos. Became for the Divyari for Rambam Barosh Vatur. So cost the Lo Yishter Bani Mutar Kaddish. Nobody writes that if he had no wife and children, he's allowed to kiddushin. No, it's going on the primary part of the halacha. The Varab Ein Lo Isha Banim Na'avim Mitzvah Rabbah. If he has no wife and children, it's a great mitzvah. Ta'avim Chatzei Shamayim, and it's the needs of heaven. They know some Kaddish Shabbos, which shouldn't forbid people to get married on Shabbos. But Tarot now the answers that the one answers the Meyer Bisha Shein Lo B'Yesh Lo Isha Banim. That which they forbade to get married on Shabbos, where you have a wife and children. If he doesn't have wife and children, it's mutter. In fact, it's permissible. I feel as if he says he should stop it being nisuin and mutter. But even going this way, we should be unsure if nisuin is permissible. Why? In time, meaning that she comes under the chuppah. She is zel kinyan gomor. That's what Arukh HaShulchan said before. Koshkein. If she can't do everything, Koshkein, he can't do nisuin. Because he holds that the erosin is a partial kinyan and nisuin is a complete kinyan. Requires for all those other purposes, for her handiwork and for things she finds and for to inherit her. But that kedushin is not like kedushin. Or perhaps this is also permissible in his doing. The kedushin is also a kinyan. She is requiring her to be his wife. Nevertheless, they permit it. If we can say perhaps by Nisuin also it's permitted. Yudal, the Dina of Vade Kaiman Kroba poskim. Well, we certainly hold like most of the majority of the poskim become Rabbi Tam Atzol Kasim Tshuva Shem Mekachi Midoch Hakodo. Even Rabbi Tam wrote the Tshuva that's only in a state of extreme pressure that you would actually be allowed to get married on Shabbos. So I feel even if you did kiddushin from before Shabbos began, Friday afternoon. Us, the kinds of chuppah Shabbos can't make the chuppah on Shabbos. Today we make it at the same time, but back when they were separate. Nevertheless, the Ramah writes as follows: Yesh Matir Kaddish. Some people allow kiddushin heichel she'ein lo isha banim when he doesn't have a wife and children. Perhaps even going into the chuppah is permissible. I we don't hold that weight. Nevertheless, al zeh b'shas hatchak. Relying this when there's pressure. Ki gado kavod habrios, because the honor of humanity is very great value. So, for example, when they weren't able to square up terms on the Tanoim, days with Tanoim, and till nighttime. They'll see the Chum Kedushin on Shabbos, so then they can make the Chum Kedushin after Shabbos begins. Since we're prepared for the meal and for the marriage, for the daytime. If I have no, to take place that day on Shabbos. If I have a biyush it's going to be embarrassing to kal nechosim. If he doesn't, they don't get married then. Nevertheless, it's best we take care that it shouldn't come out. To this such a thing should not occur, and they should obviously leave ample time in the day. Mishpur adds on that it's not enough that there's embarrassment because the Kabbalah has to be also great loss. P.S. in May, wow, Ramah had such a story when he was a rabbi in Krakow. With an orphan girl, where the wedding got delayed till 2 hours into the night of Erev Shabbos. The Seder Ba'atzman Kiddushin V'Chupan, he himself arranged the Chupan Kiddushin, but Shkasa B'Tshuva. He writes in a response to the laws of Kol Medina, and the whole country was gossiping about him. Baruch Shem Levar, he explains the length of Godokov Rabbius Tzar Chos Mekalo, that these ideas we just mentioned. Rabbius Tzar Chos Mekalo, Shamano Shemina Ma'asezu Atusu Tikun B'Krakow Shlo Lasos Shum Chuba B'Erev Shabbos. Everybody in Krakow was obviously happy with the Ramah, so they made a takana just not do chuppahs on Fridays. The Tikkun Yafel, Arukh says it's a good enactment. The Kamakakun Yeshai they said because there's several things which can go wrong in such situations. Shabbos will come to Mimachal Shabbos. Especially on short Fridays. Short Fridays in the winter. Always a problem. Anytime, any place where they can put this meaning into practice, no chuppahs on Friday. They'll have great reward from heaven. And even if it's not possible to make it the custom of the Minhag Medina, if there has to be a wedding on Friday for some reason, then you have to make the chuppah as early as possible, so as not to come to the question of making the chasna on Shabbos.